So I was just thinking about when I was on that show Fanatic on MTV. The whole premise of the show was that MTV was going to go out and they were going to find the celebrity's biggest fan, and they're going to bring the fan to the celebrity to interview the celebrity. That was the premise of the show, right? Of course, I got picked to do the show for Stone Cold Steve Austin, and I was not Stone Cold Steve Austin's biggest fan at all. I did watch wrestling, and for a while I don't watch wrestling anymore, of course, because it's embarrassing even to admit that you watch wrestling. But the truth is, I watched wrestling when I was a kid with my dad, and so that's kind of a bond that me and my dad had. So I kind of kept up with wrestling a little bit over the years, just to kind of have something to talk to my dad about, and have that kind of bond with him a little bit. So I kind of knew who Stone Cold Steve Austin was, but the reason I actually got picked to do the show was because they really wanted, somebody that was photogenic and entertaining and lively to do the show, and I wanted to promote my book, so that's why I went to do the show. But anyway, what I was thinking about is I was thinking about how ridiculous the premise was, that MTV is going to go out there and find these people's biggest fans. Because if you wanted to know who their biggest fans are, all you have to do is ask them. Believe me, every single celebrity knows who their biggest fan is. You could just ask them and they'll tell you. I mean, even me, I'm not a celebrity. I'm just a guy. I got like 3,400 subscriptions on YouTube now, but it's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. But even I know who my biggest fans are. I mean, I know who of you out there tries harder. I know who of you out there who is leaving messages and mirroring videos and, taking the time. I know, and every celebrity knows this exact same thing. So, to think that to think MTV is going to go out there and find their biggest fan when they wouldn't already know who their biggest fan is just hilarious. And so I just imagine, when I was walking in, being introduced to Stone Cold Steve Austin as his biggest fan, and he's never heard of me before because I've never made any effort whatsoever to meet him or get to know him or anything like a fan would do. So I can just imagine what he was thinking when he met me, just thinking, who in the fuck is this guy? This is definitely not my biggest fan. I've never seen this guy in my life. So anyway, it was so ridiculous. But then anyway, that made me think of something else. That made me think of how when we were shooting this, we were sitting front side, ringside, and what trying to think of what the wrestler's name was. Big Van Vader. I don't know if you guys know who that is. Big Van Vader. Or I guess he went by Vader later. But he actually used to do that too. I think he used to do kind of the Logic bitch slap thing. I just thought about that. But anyway, for some reason I didn't like him at all, but he was a good guy at this time, and so he came out there and he was doing his little wrestling match or whatever, but he was outside on the ring right in front of me, and I started booing him, for no reason, and he turned around and looked at me real mean, and he just stood there and he stared at me for 5 seconds, and I gotta admit, I shut the fuck up, and I sat down and I quit booing that man, because that man was big and that man was scary, and I was hanging around in the back later, and he was back there, and I didn't want any fucking part of that shit. So, not to look like a pussy, but I was totally a pussy for that dude, man. He walked me down. Anyway, that's what I was thinking of right now, and this is a night where I'm gonna apparently think of a lot of shit and then record them as I think of them. So, I hope somebody out there is entertained. Still love you guys. Still, never gonna stop. Logic.